So as of me making this video on February 5th of 2024, AMC dropped down to like $3.60 at its lowest it's ever been. Like I said earlier, when I checked back, it had a market cap of around $750 million. It's not even a full billion-dollar company anymore, which is a pretty far fall from grace. So I wanted to talk about what led to this disastrous bearish trend that we've been at, because this isn't a thing of just today. AMC has been struggling and failing to simply just trade sideways. You just find a bottom. This company just keeps on falling more and more and more. And even though blaming shorters, yes, they've had a big role in dragging this company down, there's also other factors that we need to also contend with. So to understand what's happening today, we must look back in time. Back in 2022, AMC announced that they would create those APE units. In the beginning, I would argue most of investors were actually bullish about the move, because they were led to believe, sadly by YouTubers, that APE units would themselves alone prove the real number of AMC outstanding shares. With the believed discovery that would happen, it was theorized that a realization from the markets would, come to be, which was, to buy the stock, as an assumption that the SEC would be forced to come in and intervene with a stock squeeze set in place, and that would make it a rush of both retailers and institutional investors to come in and pump the stock, and driving the price obviously upwards. And everyone thought that this was sort of like the 4D last chess move by Adam Aaron, that would create a squeeze, and that was not what happened. I warned investors that this would never happen, and that this whole purpose of creating those APE units was actually to circumvent investors' desires and grant AMC's board the ability to dilute. As you guys remember, Adam Aaron was always kind of angling conversations about letting them dilute the company, because they wanted to pay off the debt, they wanted to have cash on hand, but investors were always very reluctant. They said, you have already diluted this company enough, now that you have, just get to work, figure out a way to enhance revenue streams and make it work. So fast forward a year from the issuance of APE, I believe it was around autumn last year of 2023, when the news, I remember it was on a Friday, the news dropped out of nowhere that AMC was going to be diluting as an effort to raise cash, obviously, to keep the company afloat. At least that's what the CEO justified it as. So he said that he wanted to have, that AMC needed to have cash on hand to survive the winter. So as a result of that, your ownership in AMC got eroded by a massive effort of dilution, that AMC pretty much forced down on their investors who did not want it, as a way to pay off their own debts. Shorters have been having a blast because, as you can see, it doesn't matter if the company has great announcements or if they show back-to-back improvement on their revenue streams and profitability margins. When you make it known that the way you plan to pay off your debt is by issuing dilutive efforts to transfer money from investors' own portfolios into the bank so that you can lower your debt, it doesn't matter, any positive type of catalyst or news that you might have. The company's going to go down, because nobody's gonna buy. And the less. So here's the thing. So that what happens is there's a bit of a cycle that starts occurring, right? So when you have dilution the way you have it with AMC, when as a company you come out and say, so this is the way we're gonna do business, and the way we wanna sort of angle things is by diluting in order to pay off for the debt. What you create is a bit of a lot of resentment actually within your investors, right? So what happens is you get a bit of a cycle where the investors get mad. You force dilution, investors get mad, the stock price drops, investors, the more the stock price drops, the more people sell. I know a lot of people don't think that for some reason. A lot of people are just blinded, willingly blinding themselves to the reality that a lot of people are angry at AMC, that a lot of people have just given up, that a lot of people have just decided to move on with their lives away from AMC. So what happens is more people sell. What happens when people sell a stock? Well, it goes down even lower. And what happens when the stock goes lower? It becomes harder for AMC to dilute, to recover enough money to pay off for the debts, which makes them have to be more aggressive the next time there's a round of dilution, which again drops the price even more, which angers people even more, which makes, forces more people into selling, which drops the price even more. And this is why AMC has just been going down nonstop since like August last year. This is the reason why the company just doesn't seem to find a bottom, because there's this whole cycle that's never ending, right? That just makes people not want to hold this company anymore. And as far as I can see, this is not going to stop. AMC just won't catch a break. This is why it cannot stabilize no matter what, because it is a never-ending cycle that will continue to exist so long as AMC's directive is to dilute as, their means to pay off their debt, which is why I warned you guys months ago when Adam Aron came out and said this, that, they plan on diluting to like have enough cash on hand. I told you guys, like, hey, this is not good. They're gonna dilute nonstop, and your ownership in the company is gonna be reduced. The value of your shares are gonna be reduced, because what they're doing, like I said earlier, is they're using the money that you put in on their stock and they're taking it to pay off their own debt, giving you nothing. And I know a lot of people kind of feel like attached to the company in a way that, okay, so like, I know they have a debt, I want to help them out, it's okay if they use some of my money, but you have to realize the amount of debt that they have. They have about $4.8 billion worth of debt. This company, at its current market cap price, at their current market cap, they're not even worth $1 billion, but they have $4.8 billion left to pay off. Do you think this is good for like investors? Do you think this is good for you? And this is sort of like where the conversation, I guess, like, usually turns out to be a little bit, it gets toxic, because like, that's when you sort of like get people questioning you. So like, why are you talking about this? Like, why are you bringing this up? Are you a shill? And it's not that I'm a shill or that anyone bringing this up is a shill. It's just that this is the reality of what's happening. This is the reality of what's happening with the money that you have, with the money that you invest in this company that you believe in. And by the way, I still do believe in AMC. I love theaters. I know for a fact that theaters have a place to be in the future. The problem right now doesn't have to do with the theater or the underlying business. It's with AMC itself and the absurd amount of debt that they have, and the way they have sort of approached the problem, which has been in a way that has created so much resentment with their own investors that now everyone's kind of like packing up their own bags and kind of leaving them, which drops a price, which makes them not able to, like, because there's going to be a point where they're not going to be able to dilute anymore. And at that point, how do they manage to make those payments? Because last time I checked, they had about between like $100 million to like $400 million worth of interest payments per year on the debt once they start making payments on that, which is an insane amount. And when you look at the balance sheet, yeah, they have had a lot of growth in terms of revenue after the whole COVID thing in 2020. They have managed to like improve the business year to year, and that is amazing. That's one of the biggest positives about AMC. The problem is that it's just not enough, especially when you have this amount of debt. So I do believe that AMC has its right. Not its right, I would say they have the ability to like make it long term. This company has the ability to grow, but I think when they said they were going to dilute and then backstab their own investors, that sort of created a bit of a cycle, which I talked about earlier, that is just detrimental to their own success in the long run. I think when you have angry investors, retail investors, which by the way, Adam Aaron himself said make up the by far the largest amount of shareholders in the company. When you create resentment with them, what happens with the company itself? And that's sort of the problem with that AMC has at the moment. Everyone's kind of like leaving the investment from what I see. Everyone's kind of like selling out. The price just keeps on getting worse, which obviously makes things even worse because like it's not stabilizing. The rest of the market has been going up. GameStop has been kind of trading sideways for a while now. I know they too have their own problems, and they've also not incurred a lot of the growth that the rest of the market has seen, but they have been more stable than AMC. AMC has just been, it's just crashing. To be honest, if you look at the chart, it's just going down nonstop. And I wanted to touch up on that and tell you guys why I think AMC is going down. Make it clear that it's just the vicious cycle of just people selling because the price here just keeps on going down. That is the reason why AMC is not going to be able to stabilize as far as I can see, because also, like I said, the CEO has made it very clear that he intends to use dilution as a way to inject cash in their own pockets to both both make payments on their debt and just keep cash on hand for the company. And so long as that stands, is the perception that people have of the company, the stock is not going to improve at all, because nobody in their right mind would invest $1,000 into AMC. Nobody rational, that is, would invest $1,000 into a company that they know it's going to dilute. If I were to tell you, okay, you can invest $1,000 here right now, and by the end of the month you're only going to have $200, would you do it? Even if I told you, but it's for the betterment of my company, because I'm going to use those $800 that I'm gonna take from you, and I'm gonna pay off my own debt. If I told you that, would you do it? Of course not. Nobody would, and that's why nobody's buying. That's why all the pressure is downwards on AMC. And so I wanted to make that clear to you guys, because I've seen a lot of people asking about this. I've gotten a lot of DMs on my Discord about this, and I want to make that clear what my thoughts are on AMC. I love the theater company. I love AMC. I was in AMC last night. I go there. I waste like around $1,000 per year watching movies and and popcorn and candy and stuff like that every time I go, because I love theaters. I do think theaters have have their own place to be in the future. Just like MP3s didn't kill live music, just like theaters themselves didn't kill live action performances. The streaming is not going to kill theaters. In fact, streaming movies just keep on getting crazy expensive, which makes theaters have an important role in the ability to help these studios, these publishers, kind of make their money back, because streaming just isn't enough. In fact, if you look at the data, only Netflix is the one that's the only streaming service that has really been successful. And even Netflix itself is saying, so we kind of need theaters, to the point where we're putting out the major pictures that we're making, we're going to be putting them on theaters as well. Because Netflix is seeing growth, is just not seeing growth as it used to have. And that kind of begs the question as to what's going to happen with that company itself in terms of the valuation. So, and companies, like I said, just keep on getting more expensive. Marketing them just keeps on getting more expensive. So, theaters have their own role to play in streaming services' ability to remain profitable in the long run. So, AMC does have a potential, a need. What do you call it? I don't want to call it a need, but it's theaters are needed by streaming services. And AMC has a great chance to sort of remain in the position they're at, but the overall perception of the company is just tarnished by the fact that these people have gone in the worst route possible to like help pay for that, you know, to get cash essentially to pay off their debt, or just have it, you know, just holding it. So yeah, I wanted to make this quick little video on that. I'll continue updating you guys and reporting on this as usual. I'm making more content, more diversified content on other stocks. I've been talking about Meta, Nvidia, Microsoft. On my Discord I was talking about SoFi and many other investment propositions for you guys, so you know, just stay tuned. I'm gonna be making more videos on AMC and GameStop and many other stuff. I have another banger video coming out this week as well, so make sure you guys have your notifications up and running. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you so much for watching my video, and have a killer time on my Discord if you're day trading with me. Thank you all so much. Peace.